Here with Mike, talking, sharing more writing tips.
I'm here with Freddie, who's my coach, and he'll be feeding me my lines as I discuss research.
Hi, Freddie.
When you write fiction, you have to research. It's inevitable. You might want to send your protagonist into an automobile factory. And if you do, you want the facts of the automobile factory to be real. Because if they're not, somebody's going to catch you and say, you've never been to an automobile factory. Well, how do you do that? You use the internet. The internet is the greatest gift to writers since the invention of the English language. You can look stuff up in an instant that would take you hours at a library, which people still use. You can go to a library, and that brings us to books. I collect books. My wife Ann collects books. She brings them home to me. Sometimes the books turn out to be essential research objects, like this one. I think Ann brought me this one. She got it at a garage sale someplace. And I frequently write about ships because my protagonists get on ships, they attack ships, they bail out of ships. And when you have something like this, it's great. Also, I favor a big book like this because the pictures are so much larger than you can see on most computer screens, and I like to pore over them. Sometimes I like to do measurements with my hand. But if you don't have these books, there's another book I have. In fact, it's 24 volumes. It's Funk and Wagnall's Encyclopedia. There are no bound encyclopedias being produced today. The encyclopedias are still there, but they're all online and you can access them online. But I'm somebody who likes to hold words in my hand, and I like to put a place mark where I'm reading and set the book aside. I don't like to go online all the time because there are circumstances where you can't go online all the time. Granted, you can use your phone to access the internet wherever you are, but the phone is a tiny object. Here it is, and there's the screen, and that's as big as it's going to get. That's why I prefer books. But when it comes to quick access to facts, the internet is the bomb. Whenever I'm writing about a location with which I'm not familiar, and even locations with which I am familiar, I look it up on Google Maps. I'm sure most of you know about Google Maps. You just type maps into your search machine, and Google Maps is the first thing that will come up. And then you put the address of whatever it is you want to look at, and Google Maps will take you there. They recently upgraded the results of the map so that instead of showing what looks like a street map, a regular street map that was printed in a factory, you now get an aerial view of the actual location. The streets are marked, parks are marked, special venues are marked, and you can zoom in. And the more you zoom in, the closer you get. And you can zoom into an original address. And if you zoom into that address and click it on, they will usually provide you with a street view of whatever that thing is that you're looking at. Now, a lot of people aren't crazy about the Google search engine for various reasons. I like to point out a couple of alternatives. One is DuckDuckGo.com. Now, a lot of people aren't real fond of DuckDuckGo.com for various reasons. I like to point out an alternative, and that's SwissCows.com. The thing about research is you never know where it's going to take you. When you research something like where do the parts for automobile batteries come from, and you find out, it's going to affect your writing. It's going to affect the plot of the story. I can't tell you how often that has happened to me, and how, for the most part, I embrace it. Because when I learn something new about any facet of the story, like automobile battery parts or where the best emeralds are found, it affects the story. I can put that in the story just a little bit to add realism to it so the reader says, yeah, this guy knows his stuff. be careful about adding too much, because the reader will sense that too and say this guy's just showing off, or he's just copying it from an article he read on the internet. So research is essential. You should embrace it. You never know where it's going to take you. And the writer must surprise himself before he can surprise his readers. So if you run into fresh knowledge you didn't know about while doing that research, think about incorporating it into the story, making it a factor of the story. I can't tell you how often that I have done that and how often it has improved the story. And that's it, research.
Okay. He called the puppies over to you and see if we
All
can
right,
get a
all right.
cameo.
Can we get some
Bob,
dogs here, please?
Bob and Matt,
Bob,
come over
come
to
here, Bob.
Daddy.
Come here, Bob.
Come over to Daddy.
Now, Bob is hurting because he just lost the contest for the cutest pup.
I know. How could you not win the cutest pup contest?
Well, he admits
And
that
then
in
Mac.
dog years, he's 45 years old and probably should not have been posing with all those pups. But the good news is that Bob is now transitioning into a cat so that he can participate in the cutest kitty contest.
Well, there we go. Get Freddie to come over.
Where's
Freddie, come over,
All right,
Freddie.
Freddie, of
Okay,
course.
we've got Freddie. Get Freddie over by
right.
you. Come here, Freddie. Come over to
Sorry,
Daddy.
folks. We're running over time.
Oh. We're not running over time.
running over
Okay. Oh, there we go.
All right.
Freddie and Daddy. All right. That's it.